All right, we're here at the Fairhill International with Boyd. He is currently leading the 2-star with Chris Turner's On Cue, and third in the 3-star with Long Island Tea, and
20th or something on Ray Price.
After an unfortunate run out at the end of the course.
Thanks.
So can you go back to this morning and tell us about your first ride with On Cue?
I had a cracking round on Chris Turner's On Cue. She roared around the 2-star, and I think she's going to be a really good horse for the future. She's got a massive stride. She's French bred, and she's been at this level. She won a 2-star earlier this year and done a couple advanced, and I think today showed that she could be a real horse for the future. She did the time easy. I think she was 14 seconds under, which usually I yell at my students if they go that fast, but she honestly was well within her sort of efforts and pulled up well, and show jump well tomorrow and hopefully win this one. I haven't won the 2-star here ever before, so hopefully I can pull out a clear round tomorrow.
How about Ludwig?
Long Island Tea was a gun. I mean, yesterday was a disaster in the dressage. He should have been 10 points better, but to be honest, we're just building him up for 4-star, and this event, was about the cross country and the jumping, and today he showed me he's a 4-star horse. He fought all the way, and he had I think it was 4 time penalties, so 10 seconds too slow, but it wasn't because he was slow or tired. He gets a bit keen and strong, and you have to set him up a bit too early. And come Kentucky next year, that'll be sorted out, and he could be a real horse for the future. So I think he's in a sneaky 3rd, and jump a clear round tomorrow, and you never know what might happen.
And Ray Price is also sort of on the 4-star track. It looked like he got a little distracted at the last water jump, maybe. Yeah,
he's a little bit. It's funny. He might be a year or 2 younger than Ludwig, and you can feel it like in his way of going. He's a little bit more immature and a little bit more spooky, and he ripped off a shoe early on, which rattled him a little bit because we were sliding around a bit. Anyway, I went quick on him. He's nearly all thoroughbred, and we were racing around, and I asked him to take off long at a couple of the corners and a couple of the skinnies, and he dug deep for me, but felt bewildered. And then right at the last water, he was getting a bit tired, and I went for a big long one out over this really tight angle, and poor old Ray said, "Screw you." And so I did a circle and just cantered home, and he was still inside the time. So maybe in hindsight, I probably got up him too much for the time, and should have been a bit more settled. But to be honest, he wasn't. He felt a little bit too green to go 4-star next year. So I think this was a whatever you call it, the silver line, something, where basically just said we need to do a couple more 3-stars next year, and then we'll do a 4-star the year after. And I think he could be a top horse.
And you've had him since he was a
baby,
right?
You bred him. So bred his mother, his grandmother.
Can you talk about, even if he didn't have a perfect day today, can you talk about the satisfaction of bringing him up to this level and seeing him progress?
Yeah, it's satisfying, but I mean, they're all satisfying because it's to get a horse to this level, it's such a long road and thousands of hours of practice and training, and miles and miles of journey from event to event to event, and it's not perfect all the time, but I've got a good couple of young horses coming through now, so things are looking good for the future.
All right. You also are heading to France next week with Steady Eddie. Can you just comment on how he felt leading up to Pau, and what Stephanie reports back on his condition
tomorrow
now?
night I fly to Paris and then to Pau, and he's over there. It's going to be a good trip actually. Woodsy's riding and Philip's riding, and Kim Severson. So all of us, I think we got Kim Severson schooling the horses over there this week. So I reckon Steady Eddie will be passaging by the time I see him on Monday. But he's in good form. Had a great run at Stableview. And I think, you know, it's probably not an ideal course for Eddie, but he's felt really, really good last couple of events, and jumping well. He's lightning fast. He's an old pro, so and I love riding around 4 stars, and Po's a great event. It's definitely a unique 4-star, and you know, it's going to be a good week with the boys over there.
I think you've said before it's a pretty twisty technical course, so do you think that's going to suit him?
Not really. He'd probably prefer a Fairhill or a Burley, where it's big, long gallops, big jumps, but we wanted to go to Burley, but we couldn't in the end just because Weg was so close to it. So we had him 4-star fit, and me and the owners decided that we might as well try and do a 4-star on him. But you never know. I'm going to take my time in the twisty parts, and then the course in the middle third gets out into the racetrack and gets really big and open, and I'm going to let him run there, and then just try and ride him a bit slow in the twisty parts, knowing that I've got a horse with a huge engine for the gallopy part. So look out for him. He could surprise everyone.
All right. Thanks, Boyd. Good luck.
Thanks, Amber.